Hey everyone. So I just want to talk to you really quickly about the idea of the lateral movement. So the lateral lunge, the lateral split squat. Because in many cases it's a little bit different than the forward or reverse versions that you'll have done. So just a quick review. When you are doing the split squat, which is what will lead to the idea of lunge, what makes it different from a lunge, the split squat is there is no movement directionally. Okay, we're staying in one place. So here I am doing the regular split squat straight up and down. Now we have talked about the idea of the athletic version where there's a slight lean forward versus the 90-90 version where you're very upright as you do it. And from the side view, there's the slight forward lean, and then there is the 90-90 position. And really quickly again, the reason that those two are a little bit different is that slight forward lean transfers a little bit better over to ideas like a run or a sprint, and the upright position is more about sort of that trunk stability and postural maintenance. In both of those cases, you want to make sure the shoulders are back, so even when I'm in that forward lean is coming from all the way from the knee and I'm maintaining that straight line. I'm not going like that, okay? This hip, the down leg, that's the one that is always going to be maintaining that nice straight line all the way up to the ear, okay? That's in the split squat. And then when you take it into a lunge, it's the same thing. So if I'm doing a forward lunge, there's that version and there is that version. All right, so that's your quick recap on the idea of the linear split squat and forward and reverse lunge. But what we're going to talk about now is the lateral version, which is still linear. I realize as I said it that's not exactly true. It's just going to the sideline versus forward and back. So starting off with the split squat, the lateral split squat, put your feet about double hip width apart. All right, now you want your toes pointing forward, and that is going to be key as we drop into that lateral movement, because part of the idea is you don't want to pass your upper body, your knees, you don't want them going out and past the bent leg. So this is a move towards lateral hopping, lateral jumping, because you're learning how to load up that single leg, but you're not loading it completely because the other leg is offering a little bit of support, just less of it. So what you're going to do for that lateral split squat is shift your weight to one side. The side that you are shifting away from, that leg is going to stay straight, you're bending the other leg. And here's the key in terms of a difference or something extra to look at versus a regular split squat or lunge. It is a bit of a hinge. Because if I stay too upright on this, my knee just pitches forward, and this isn't a whole don't let your knees go past your toes thing. It's simply that you want that weight shift to happen a little bit in both directions, forward and back, because if it's all forward and you load up like that, I just run out of room. That's as low as I can get. The other thing too is that if that is how I am learning to load that single leg, if I'm jumping, that's a very bad way to absorb that landing. You're probably going to have trouble holding your balance. Versus if I'm learning to keep that weight sort of balanced throughout the foot by shifting my weight back on that hip. All right, now I've got that knee, it's still not tracking out past my foot on the side, and I'm not going too far past the toes because my hips are going back as well to help me absorb that weight. Okay, so that's that's the lateral split squat. Either way, I am shifting my hips back at the same time I'm bending my knee. So if you were to look at it from the side, all right, as I go into that lateral lunge, I am keeping the shoulders back and chest up like I always want to do. But at the same time, I am shifting back into a little bit of a hinge in order to absorb the extra weight onto that one side. So I've got much less weight being held on this straight leg side. Shift the hip back, shift the hip back. All right, my hip is going back as my knee bends. All right, so that's what I want you to work on and learn, is that hinge type movement as you shift that weight back, because then you'll progress into the lateral lunge. And the key is you don't want your lateral lunge to turn into that. Your lateral lunge is simply stepping into that lateral split squat. All right, stepping into the lateral split squat. And this is key because it is part of the directional change, learning how to absorb the weight, and you can shift that direction. So it's good for all sports and life, because if you are in the habit of changing direction, it could be something like you have to jump out of the way as somebody comes running through on the street, or it could be in a sport, a multi-directional sport, where you're learning how to cut and move and change direction, but you want to have learned how to load that leg properly from the most basic format up into the most advanced. All right, so take that away, practice it. Don't worry if you can't get it right away. Try filming yourself, that's always helpful, and film it from both head on and sideways. And again, the biggest takeaway that I want you to go with from this video is the idea of it is a little bit of a hinge as well as a squat, because you are absorbing that weight back. All right, so have a try, practice it up. Remember, work from the split squat up before you start going into a lunge and before you start jumping, and let us know if you have any questions. All right, be safe out there.